In my 7 years as a YouTuber, I don't think I've ever done a video on anything more disturbing or far-reaching than this. What the UK Parliament is doing to Russell Brand is blatantly authoritarian and is actively killing the very liberal values that Parliament claims it upholds. Ordinary citizens all across the West are being caught totally off guard with what's really happening in our societies. And in this video, I'm going to reveal to you exactly that and what we all need to do together to crush it. Yesterday, the CEO of Rumble, Chris Pavlovski, announced that he had received what he called a, quote, extremely disturbing letter from a government committee in the UK Parliament. Here's the letter that was sent to Rumble. Quote, "Dear Chris, I'm writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his being a content provider on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers. The Culture, Media and Sport Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we're also looking at his use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches. While we recognize that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. We would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content, including his videos relating to the serious accusations against him. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. We would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators, note plural, are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Yours sincerely, Dame Caroline Dinage." Now, just so you know, that was a letter written not just to Rumble, but also, to YouTube, which capitulated to their demands, to their utter everlasting shame. It was sent as well to TikTok, almost verbatim. And that letter, just so you know, that letter was written by a member of Britain's Conservative Party. She's a Tory. She's supposedly a representative of Britain's conservative voters. That's why the Conservative Party right now is polling so pathetically in the UK. I just thought you might all want to know that. Now, needless to say, the Rumble executive, Chris Pavlovski, responded to that vile verbal authoritarianism with this. "Today, we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. While Rumble obviously deplores sexual assault, rape, and all serious crimes and believes that both alleged victims and the accused, note and the accused, are both entitled to a full and serious investigation, it's vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on Rumble's platform. Just yesterday, YouTube announced that based solely on these media accusations, it was barring Mr. Brand from monetizing his video content. Rumble stands for very different values. We've devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard or which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on our platform or to earn a living from doing so. Singling out an individual and demanding his ban is even more disturbing given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. We don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do with our platform. Although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We emphatically reject the UK Parliament's demands." God bless Chris. God bless Rumble. And if you would, if you haven't already done so, please click on the link below and subscribe to my Rumble channel, because we're going to want to show that platform some serious love and attention as a token of our appreciation. Click on that link below. Now, Viva Fry said it best. We now know this was never about Russell Brand. This was all a political pretext for governments across the world to coordinate with social media companies, as they've been doing, to acquire total control over dissenting influencers. Gang, this is precisely what we talked about in my original video on what's really going on with Russell Brand just a couple of days back. You definitely want to check out that video, because there I argued that what's really happening to Russell has to be understood in light of what scholars call refeudalization, where our society is increasingly resembling the kind of caste system akin to the class structure of the Middle Ages. I won't rehash the argument here. You can go check out the original video for the argument in full. But the important point is that in a refeudalized world, the presumption of innocence is gone. It's been replaced with actual heresy hunters. And heresy hunters use a comparable ideological fundamentalism, this time now known as wokeness, to brand those who dissent from the ruling establishment as heretics, or in woke terms, racists, sexists, bigots, homophobes. And heretics, by definition, must be excommunicated. Today, I want to show you exactly, precisely, how this refeudalized system is nothing less than good old-fashioned, reheated authoritarianism. And if we know what it is, we know how to stop it. Which begs the question, what are you going to do about this? Are you ready to stand up and join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punish Bud Light and Target. We've driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy. We forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG. And we've seen our glorious Trump-appointed Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. So don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today. I'm sure it won't be any surprise to you that there is in the Academy a field of study actually known as authoritarian studies, the study of the conditions and characteristics of modern authoritarian regimes. Modern authoritarianism, very simply, is generally defined as the rule by the privileged few in the name of the many. It involves, in every case, the amassing of power and wealth in the hands of the very few, and the reconstitution of society so as to protect the power and affluence of the very few. Now, a key characteristic of authoritarian regimes is the control over what's called life chances. Now, again, simply put, the more the regime can control your employment, your education, your finances, your access to banking, your ability to travel, the more it sends the message that any opposition to the regime can affect your life and the life of your family. The more the state controls your life chances, the less control you have over your life. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. Make no mistake, this is precisely the society that a system of refeudalization has ushered in. You and I are living in a world where the power of the very few increasingly controls our life chances. They control our access to all the various opportunities to improve our lives. And the control of life chances is inextricably linked with the new ideological fundamentalism of wokeness. As you heard in that letter to Rumble, what wokeness has essentially done is it's sanctified the victim, the marginalized, the disenfranchised, harming, offending, aggrieving, the victimized, the marginalized, in any way is considered today the unpardonable sin. But it's not a judgment that's handed down by courts. It's enforced instead by heresy hunters, a new breed of grand inquisitors, whose declarations alone are enough to trigger the mechanisms of social cancellation. I mean, think about it. I could be convicted of murder, but I'd still have a bank account. But the same can't be said if I'm accused of violating politically correct norms. That is the authoritarian world you and I live in today. Listen to me. This is not the world of Ronald Reagan. This is not the world of Margaret Thatcher. Their magic doesn't work in this world. This is a world, a neo-feudalized caste system world, that is going to require a fundamentally different response. And that is where the response from Rumble comes in. This world, this refeudalized authoritarian world, only operates as long as we comply with it. Compliance is its engine. That's why it constantly defers to tactics of intimidation and threat. The prerequisite for the system is our compliance. And what the CEO of Rumble did is what we all must do. We must all band together and say, we will not comply. We will not comply. This is eventually what brought down the Berlin Wall in the Soviet Union. When a critical mass of the population rises up and says together, no more, we will not comply, there is nothing they, the very few, can do. We've seen it happen before. Now it's our time. We emphatically reject their demands.